Well, it looks like we got a lot of conspiracy freaks out there because a new island just came out of the ocean and they act like it never happened in the history of the Earth. Well, it happens quite a bit. I heard about this, and here's the island. It's just a lump of mud that came out of the ocean floor, and I'll just go over real quickly. Older residents of the coastal town in Pakistan, near Pakistan, said the land emergence was deja vu. An earthquake in 1968 produced an island that stayed for 1 year, then vanished. Seismologists suspect the island is in temporary formation resulting from a mud volcano, a jet of mud, sand, and water that gushed to the surface, as the tremor churned and pressurized, and slurry under the ocean floor, sandy layers underground are shaken and they come up out of the water. Now, actually, I thought this was actually, I don't even want to say who it was, but the giddy minds that are all over the place, it's ridiculous. But anyway, it looks like the bird people are riding their bicycles around, celebrating that the island has formed because, this is a new cult of the bird people. The island has formed, and we're going into a new age. Just as crazy as H.G. Wells' invasion of the Martians back in the late 1930s. People panic. Holy smokes. But, I guess that's what you do. You panic, right? There was actually a story I can relate from years ago that somebody was, not that many years ago, it was a few years ago, somebody was sailing, and they came across new uncharted islands that rose out of the ocean floor. And they were part coral, but somehow they were near the ocean floor, and then they rose up. And I initially thought the story was about that, but take an extra precaution. A lot of the people, the bird people riding around their bicycles, they are also using umbrellas, and just in case some ash falls from the air, and maybe some dead birds. You never know what can happen. I mean, really. The earth is going to collapse anytime, so hide your head and well, anyway, I'm just kidding about that. But anyway, you don't have to worry about anything because Putin the Cat is watching over the earth, and he's keeping a vigilant eye, and he's keeping his eye on everything. Putin the Cat is going to make sure everything is fine. So just be calm. It's just another mudslide comes out of the earth, and it happened before back in 1968, and it's actually not the only time it happened, even in the South Pacific, because there seems to be a lot of earthquake activity in there, and sometimes there's even like submerged coral that comes out of the ocean and produces more islands. There's actually been, I forgot where it was, but I saw an article some couple years ago about somebody who was sailing a boat, and they came across and they watched an island form right in front of them some miles ahead, and it was an awesome sight, and he actually took some pictures of it. A very, very rare type thing to happen, but it does happen. It does happen. You see the reason a lot of people don't see it? Because it's in the middle of the ocean. You see? That's why. And but don't worry, the earth is not going to cave in, the earth is not going to blow up, because this cat, Putin the Cat, is watching over us, and everything's going to be fine. And I know some people are out there, they're taking they're still taking to the streets with their bird headdress, riding their bicycles, and they're also having their umbrellas to make sure things don't fall out of the sky because of the volcano. But really, don't panic. Don't panic. It's not such a big deal. And just remember the lesson from back in the 1930s about when they had the invasion from Mars, and it was actually a skit they'd put on the radio. Look how many people panicked. I don't think human nature has changed. And that actually became a big story because a mudslide came out of the ocean floor, and it happened back in 1968 in practically the same spot. So no big news, man. No big news. But don't worry. You can take your safety umbrella, and if you have this type of umbrella, if it makes you feel good that something might fall out of the sky because of a volcano, wear it by any means, but just don't worry, because Putin the Cat is watching over the entire globe. Putin the Cat has made sure we're safe.